This is going to be short because it's been a long day and everyone would like to get to have a drink. We sponsor the drinks and you're very welcome to enjoy them. I thought initially this would involve a certain amount of tasting, maybe a visit to the odd vineyard and so on, but actually John did all that. So I'm just here to enjoy it. Thank you. And please do chat to us. My colleague Pete is here, and we'll be very happy to pick up the things I'm going to talk about very briefly in the next, really seriously, 10 minutes, because it's been a very long day. City Insights. We're talking a lot about energy. I want to take this out of it and go back to the theme of sustainability, which is where the day started, really, to be honest. And that really is, I think, where we are. City Insights, very briefly, we have developed an internet-based platform that puts curated, carefully chosen information on smartphones and tablets, any smartphone or any tablet, related to the place where you're standing. This room, this light, this building, its history, this location, the green features associated with it. It is as simple as that, really. It is highly flexible, and it tells you a story in multimedia on your smartphone or tablet about the place where you are. Okay, so that's what we do. We work across a whole range of sectors, but we identified the fact that the sector that has more places to tell more stories about than any other is property and construction. You have millions of them, and the stories to tell about them are extraordinary too. We work with these kind of people, Argent, Overbury, Network Rail. We work with the catapults as well, helping these organisations tell the story about the places they're making within communities and that people walk past or work in every day. The reason why we chose to do this on the mobile, and these are some figures that interest us about the mobile first and moving into the mobile first future. I think that's something I was talking to Ben about over lunchtime. About 34.6 million people with smartphones in the UK right now. By 2017, that'll be 98% of us between 14 and 44 will have and use a smartphone. Smartphone ownership runs at 134% in Europe, so you have 1 1/3 each, apparently. We're selling about 9,500 every day. The simplest figure we can get to is about 1,300% increase in mobile internet use. But effectively, what that means is that 39% more internet use compound year on year as the way people get onto the internet. And using a PC is dropping by 13% every year. So it's mobile, and there's this huge opportunity to tell the story in a place when you're standing actually in that place. That's why we're in this business. Listening to the fantastic stories about sustainability and energy management that have gone through today, I've just been amazed by the technology, by the thinking, by the planning, by the finance, by the whole intelligence and cleverness and brightness of what's actually involved there. It's extraordinary. Building sustainability is an extraordinary thing. My question is this: who are you going to tell? Who are you going to tell? Because you've got this extraordinary story, and yet it's not getting out there. There's a big information gap, and there's a big engagement gap with the people who are actually, you want to get on board with this, at all kind of levels by the sound of it. It's really, concerning to hear that talking about energy management is the most boring thing in the world. It shouldn't be. It should be really exciting. Getting people involved in that in their own lives and in their own businesses and in their own houses should be something really extraordinary if you can get the information, get the motivation into their hands. So who are you going to tell? I'm going to suggest some items, some areas people you might want to tell, and then I'm going to try and I will go to a live demonstration. So there's endless possibilities for things to go wrong now, which obviously, so you could tell the public. So you could tell that sustainability story, that energy management story, to people who visit the places that you've built or you're in the process of building, just as they walk past and they can understand what's going on. We're doing that with people now. You can tell the local community. You can engage them in the energy, in the sustainability story, not just about energy, but about the whole way that green spaces are used, how transport's being planned, the use of materials, embodied energy. You can involve the community in that, because these energy saving, these sustainable projects are going right into the heart of where they actually live and work. That community can be the community who's living in the building at the same, or using the building at the same time. You can talk to the owner, the user, the occupier. You can engage them directly in the energy, sustainability story and their participation in it. And that is a huge opportunity when you start thinking about behaviour change. And you can talk to your own stakeholders. A lot of the people in this room and a lot of people who've spoken today, you are the people who talk directly to the decision makers, real, right at that kind of level. And this image here is really supposed to be you with the model of whatever it is you're trying to present or trying to explain with that sustainability multimedia story jumping out of it, and the person you're talking to taking it away with them, being totally convinced and buying whatever you've got to sell. That's what that picture is supposed to convey. Okay, so there's just a number of audiences that sustainability, that story could be conveyed to using this media and dispersing it around the place. I'm going to show a couple of examples now. Usually I'd plug this directly into the system. Doesn't quite work here, so I'm going to go to our emulator, which looks like this. And you'll have to imagine that you're seeing this on a phone. Well, you're kind of seeing it on a phone, actually. For example, this is a project that we're working on at Masdar, which is the future energy city in Abu Dhabi. There is more sustainability built into that place than any other on Earth, I think. The only completely unsustainable thing about Masdar is Norman Foster's fees for building it. Everything else is absolutely fine. It's become a tourist attraction by default. They'd never expected to do so. You walk around and you're looking at buildings which have extraordinary technology and planning and management built into them, but you don't know what you're looking at. What we've done is to create a tour you take around with you, and you simply... Under the skin of the building, you'll get the idea. Deals with heat. The horizontal fins help by stopping some of the direct sunlight from even touching the building. I won't do any more of that, but that is walking through the place, looking at the building and being told about it. And you can imagine doing that in some of the wonderful buildings that we've been talked about this morning. Those features are something you can see and appreciate, whether you're living there, working there, or walking past there. Okay, that's one audience you can reach, I think, with the sustainability message. The second is a little bit different, and we work with a lot of housing associations, and that's really because the fuel poverty was mentioned, and I think telling people about behaviour change or bringing about behaviour change is one of the key ways to get the most out of the kind of retrofit that is being done. So this is for one of our clients, and it's really just a way of saying, how could I engage people in the story of their own house and energy there? So this is your house, and you can use this if I can manage to make it work on here. Yeah. And you can just change it. So you can see the infrared version of your own house. And it's just a very, very simple way of engaging people in the whole business of energy and how that relates to where they actually live. And it's not anyone's house, it's my house. It's not anyone's boiler, it's my boiler. It's not anyone's new retrofit green heater. So, for example, we're working with another group here who have spent an awful lot of money, actually, on retrofitting storage heaters and other control systems within a house. You put it in, you tell the people about it in August, they turn it off, turn it back on in October, and obviously they've just totally forgotten how it actually works. So they reckon they're getting about somewhere between 50 and 30% of the value of the actual retrofit in terms of doing that. So we've simply taken the information about how the system actually works, put it right there in their hands. This is actually a commercially produced piece, but the idea really is to take that and make it far more personal and have the landlord producing it themselves, or the housing association themselves, so they can, this time they actually understand how the system works. So there is sustainability as you walk through for the public. Masdar is one where just about in conversation with a range of people putting a trail together, sustainability trail in North London based on King's Cross, and working north and working south. So if anyone has got buildings there they'd like to join, I'd love volunteers for that because we're very keen to put that one together. In terms of this idea of making the sustainability story available in the place where you are, anything to do with the certification scheme is ideal for this. You put the certification scheme in your foyer, in your window, and this tells you how you arrive at that certification. It's the story behind. It's just engaging people in the idea and the story behind it. I'm going to show maybe, yes, one more. So two more. This is a very different, this is a very different form of sustainable engagement. This is in King's Cross. We've done a whole trail around King's Cross. Sustainability obviously isn't just about energy. We've heard a lot about that. It's about how you use green spaces. So this is putting the story of the King's Cross Green Pond, or the Pond Club, and just putting it right there, actually, as you walk up there. So you can, effectively, they have a whole range of things. A skip garden, they have a non-chemically treated pond, they have a whole policy for dealing with green spaces, which is part of their sustainability. And this is putting that story out there in the public realm and engaging people with it. This system is particularly good at using material you've already got. Things you've already got that explain what you do can be pulled together and made part of these trails. And it really engages people with your own story. So if you want to go and swim in the pond in King's Cross, you're welcome to do so. It's open all year. You only have to break the ice in the winter. There we go. Oops. Hold it. Good. That's enough of that. And finally, I think we also work with a lot of companies who are at the handover point. I hesitate to use the word soft landings because we're not actually officially involved in that, though I think we would very much like to be. But this idea of, and this is with Overbury, so we do a lot of work with them. This is not actually a sustainable, energy efficient example, but the idea really is just to take the information, as we've been talking about, I've heard people talking about it, the business of being sustainable, of energy use, of how buildings get used, are going to be more dispersed, more people are going to be responsible, and it's going to take up more parts of the building. And it's not going to be entirely automated. People are going to have to change the way they behave within those buildings. This is just so you can give all the information you need to the building manager or whoever's in charge right where you actually need it by this lift in this particular case. So here we go. This is the thing I want to know about. Because I'm online, because it's on a phone, I can just get everything I want straight there, right to my phone instantly. It's always on the spot, next to the actual thing that I want to talk about. And finally, for everyone's benefit here, when you're trying to make the sustainable case using media based on your own workflow, on your own pattern, or whatever you're doing, you want this to be responsive. I'm thinking of these presentations that have been talked about a lot with finance people, with policymakers, with potential stakeholders. We like the idea that you could use this platform and use this to gather your information together and make it part of your explanation. Simple as that, really. And it needs to be extremely flexible and updatable. So you can take the material right now that's only just happened, and you can include it in your own presentation. You can include it in the storyline. And I think that ability to build new material and be updatable and be responsive to each audience you're talking to and changing what you see on here within the package is a way of conveying that sustainability message to people in a very personalised, very specific kind of way. So we think that oh yeah, there you go. There you are. So we think that there is a huge potential here to take sustainability and energy use, but sustainability overall, and put it out in the public domain, the who you're going to tell thing, a range of ways of telling people and getting that story into their hands in media. That's really why we're here, because we think you have the best story to tell and some of the best kept secrets in the whole industry. And we'd love to see those getting out there and being seen by more people. So, I'm here, we'll be around the drinks. Pete's here, Sarah at the back there, and Mike, my other colleague. Please do come and talk to us if you have anything that you think might benefit from this kind of media approach. Thanks very much indeed.